The photos we're getting on the river course are more than a little difficult to figure out, and it only gets harder from here on out, so let this one set the tone. We also get to poke fun at some of the nonsensical aspects of the course with regards to what Pokemon appear, and our old nemesis, the random number generator, gets multiple appearances as well. I'm making this all sound worse than it actually is, though. Well, time to turn our vehicle into a riverboat and set sail. Magikarp. This Pokemon is in just about every course, more so than Pikachu in fact, but the river is when Magikarp gets the ability to do a special pose. Toss apples or pester balls anywhere in the water to give him a chance to show up. He will splash into the air, at which point you snap the photo. There are multiple poses he can do, but the one you want is the one where he sparkles as he splashes. This is tricky because he's very fast when he does this pose, and it happens at random, so you need to be vigilant and ready to take the photo on a whim. Keep in mind that where you throw the apple in the water controls where he'll jump up, so you need to find the right balance of distance away from him so you can get the photo as close as possible for size points. Poliwag. You'll see a Poliwag right when you begin. Toss a pester ball at it to get him to move next to another Poliwag. You don't need to hit the Poliwag, just land the ball near him. Then toss another ball at the pair of Poliwags so they move near the third Poliwag. Now comes the tough part. You need to toss another ball at the Poliwag trio, which causes them to rush to the water and jump in. Naturally, you want them to rush right at your camera so you can take the shot with them facing you. If you take the photo while they're in the air during their jump, you'll get a hefty pose bonus, so if your timing is slick, it'll all be down to size and however many you can get in the frame at once. The one on the far left is the best subject since it's closest to you. After they jump in, they will jump out of the river at random like Magikarp, but this doesn't have as much point potential.
Wow.
Bulbasaur. Right across from the Poliwags are a weird-looking bulb and a fallen tree. Hit the bulb with a pester ball to flush out Bulbasaur, then toss an apple in front of the log for another Bulbasaur. Lure them together with apples and take a picture of the one that's eating for a pretty decent score. There's a third Bulbasaur not far from there too, and if you're really advanced you can lure them all the way to the cliff on the right and hopefully get them all in the frame for a decent size score and a ton of bonus points for getting all three of them. Pose isn't a problem as long as they're eating. Guess what that means? Bulba butts!
Wow. Well done.
Slowpoke and Slowbro. Right after Bulbasaur are a couple of Slowpokes, which evolve into Slowbro if you lure them over to the fishing spot. This evolution animation is often lengthy, so use the C buttons to stall the vehicle as I've mentioned in the past. Slowpoke gets the most pose points when his tail is up after catching a shelter but before he becomes Slowbro, and Slowbro gets the most pose points when he's eating, and you can lure them both to the edge of the river with apples. Use the second Slowpoke for both of these shots, not the first. You can get closer to the second Slowpoke for some reason, and you want the maximum size points, right? If you're having trouble with either shot, try to lure Slowpoke to the fishing point as soon as he comes into view. It'll give you a lot more time to set everything up. Shelder and Cloister. When you get to Slowpoke, you'll get Shelder popping out of the water seemingly at random. They aren't completely random, though. If you use the dash engine constantly from the start of the course, you'll eventually run into a group of 3 that float around for a while. Dash up to them and try to photograph one when it's facing you. They spin around a bit, more so if you hit one with an apple, but with timing you should be able to pull off a shot. Cloister works similarly, although I'm not really sure how or when he appears. Maybe if you photograph Shelder? I don't know, but be ready for him to appear if that's the case. This shot could take some practice. Psyduck. You'll see this knot bird swimming around in the water. Hit him with a pester ball to cause him to appear randomly whenever you toss an apple in the water, same as Poliwag and Magikarp. And like those two, you want the splash animation where it sparkles. Just like before, you need reflexes to get a good shot. If your vehicle gets caught on something like the Metapod later on in the level, that can at least give you more time to set up for this photo and others like it. Porygon. Aren't these guys artificial Pokemon? Why are they... Never mind. Alright. You'll see a weird-looking thing on the walls. Hit them with Pester Balls to flush out Porygon. You'll need another Pester Ball to get the dirt off of them, then use the apple to lure them in position for the shot. Porygon give the most pose points when they are eating, as usual, though due to their size, getting 2 in one frame can be difficult. By the way, be sure to send the Pokemon Company your photos of Porygon so they can't deny his existence any longer. We will have justice for the underappreciated Porygon line one day, ladies and gentlemen. Vileplume. This one was hard to figure out the best score for. Play the Pokeflute to get it to jump out of the ground. Vileplume has a different dance for every song, like Snorlax, and in this case you want the second song. Size is the big issue here. Snap the photo when the flower is facing you, as that will make Vileplume take up most of the frame and earn you the most points. Also face the wall as you approach and use the C buttons to stall the vehicle for time, so you have as much time to get as close to him as possible.
Well done.
Pokemon sign. Right above Vileplume is the sign for this level, the Cubone Rock. Gas is blocking it unless you play the Pokeflute, and any song will do for the sign. Metapod. This is the last unique Pokemon for the course. There are 4 Metapod in total hanging from the trees past Vileplume. You can knock them down with a Pester Ball, and this can even stop the vehicle. The best way to work with these guys is to hit the last of the 4 and get your vehicle caught on it so it stops, preferably on the right side. Then turn around and hit the other 3 so they descend. There should be one directly in front of you with 2 behind it. It can be tough to tell where Metapod's front is, so just remember to do what you always did in the men's locker room. Make sure the pointy bits are facing away from you. I know the photo will look awful because you can't see the eyes, but trust me on this. You can take the photo now or free the vehicle and let it get some distance if the subject is cropped off the edge of the frame. This should rack up some decent points either way. And in case anyone didn't know, fleshing out the Porygon at the end of the level causes him to land on a switch, opening a gate bound for the next course. I give up. This island can't be untouched by humans. It must have had humans, but no longer, because there's complex machinery and artificial Pokemon here. Anyways, next time our vehicle becomes a hovercraft and... Wait, Oak built this thing and made it convert into a hovercraft? This guy is no professor, he's a downright engineer. Why is his doctorate in pocketology? Whatever. Cave Course is up next. It's a complicated one.